Hey everybody, today I've got 3 pocket rods to chat about real quick. I know when I'm looking to buy a new rod, obviously the best thing is to fish the rod yourself, but a lot of times you can't. And so since I have these 3 on hand, I'd like to just discuss my thoughts and compare them. This is the Nissin Tenkara Mini 32, so that's a 320 centimeter length. This is the Dragontail Talon Mini 310 and the Tanuki Pocket Ninja Streamborn 290. So they're all in about the same range, give or take. And I wanted to just show you them, talk a little bit about them, and so that might inform your decision if you're looking to pick up a pocket rod. So the Nissin normal price is around $200. I think, full price is like $225, but I got this rod on Amazon for $130 shipped from Japan. At that price, that's just killer. The Talon Mini is $130. Again, a great killer price. And oftentimes Dragontail will put their stuff on sale. So I think I actually picked this one up when it was on pre-order at more like $105 or so, which is an incredible deal. And then the Tanuki Pocket Ninja, these always have a bit of a price premium. So the full price on this is $300. I got mine on a pre-order for $245, but it's significantly more expensive than these other 2. All right, so let's talk about them. You can see their relative sizes. My pick is the Tenkara Mini 32, and I'm basically gonna tell you why. This video is basically telling you why. First of all, look at the length. If you want an actual pocket rod, this rod will fit in your pocket, not even sticking out. If you have a cargo pant pocket or a larger pocket, it literally, it figuratively disappears in your pocket. Whereas these other 2 just aren't quite pocket enough to hit that mark. So this one wins on the size for me. I really like cork grips and I like thicker grips. I have size large hands. So the Tanuki Pocket Ninja, if I fish it more than a couple hours at a time, my hand does get tired. And yes, you could, wrap something around it, a tennis grip or whatnot, but that sort of defeats the purpose of having a wonderfully, beautiful piece of art here. This is the brown trout edition, and it's gorgeous. So, I don't think I'm gonna wrap it with anything. I just sort of fish it for less time because it's just not as comfortable. I get a little bit of cramps in my hand because it's such a thin grip. Now, if you like thin grips and that doesn't bother you, then obviously that's not a big deal. But these other 2 have a nice thick grip and it really fits my hand well. I find that with these smaller length rods, I often am holding them right at the base. And so the other thing I love about the Tenkara Mini is the round end cap because it just fits perfectly. It's wonderfully shaped. I don't find that I fish these up here unless I'm in a really tight stream. And that's the other thing. This length is really good for the tight streams in my area that have a lot of overhanging trees. Every now and again, you'll find a spot that, you'd want a 360 or a 400 length, but usually this 300 range is just the sweet spot. So let me take the caps off and we could talk about the weights. So the heaviest of these is the Dragontail Tenkara Mini, which comes in on my scale at 2.5 ounces. And then second is the Tanuki at 2 ounces. And then third, the lightest one is the Nissin Tenkara Mini 32 at 1.5 ounces, 1.7 ounces, I guess. Those weights are without the tip caps. And you can really tell that the Nissin just swings almost effortlessly. It's really wonderful. So I'm gonna extend the first section on each of the rods. So now we can talk about predicted durability. I haven't gone out and broken the rods or anything like that, but predicted durability. So if you look at the tip sections, you'll notice that they vary in thickness. So the thickest one is the Talon Mini, the thinnest one is the Tenkara Mini, and the Tanuki's kind of in between. So the Tenkara Mini feels like a finesse instrument. Like a lot of Japanese rods, it just is a dream to cast. The line seems to go where you think it. You hardly even have to move it. It's super lightweight. The balance is amazing. But, it's very, very thin on the tip near the Lillian. And so I don't think this rod is going to be great for big fish in swift currents. Now, that's not a problem for me on my little streams where I fish it. Then I don't really have either of those things. So the Tenkara Mini, I would say great for smaller fish and more of a finesse instrument. So next up, the Dragontail. The Dragontail is way more robust. And I've heard of people catching quite large fish on this rod. So if you have larger fish where you are and you're looking for a pocket rod that can handle them, I really think this is a better choice possibly than the others. If you're doing up 12-inch fish, 14-inch fish in strong current, the Dragontail feels in my hand when I've fished it more confident with those size fish. And then the Tanuki is very interesting. Well, let's now talk about the way they cast. So the Tenkara Mini is a slower cast, a softer cast, a more finesse cast, like just typical Japanese. If you fish an Oni rod or other Nissin rods, like I have the 360 Airstage Fujiru from Nissin, that's a 5.5, casts very similar to that. It's a joy with level line. It's just beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. The Dragontail, you feel that the rod is heavier, and by comparison, it feels even a little clunky, but again, it feels more robust. It feels more durable. And if you're going to beat it up, I definitely think that's a better option. And with bigger fish, I definitely think that's a better option. But it also has a pretty, it has a slower cast than the Tanuki. The Tanuki is very snappy. And it's interesting because I usually prefer a slower cast, a softer rod, but the Tanuki is a joy to cast as well. It's just very different in character. So it's very snappy and sort of stiff, but the line again goes exactly where you want it to go. And it's easy to just pinpoint cast, but it's a much quicker motion than the Nissin is. But I love it as well. But again, it's different. It's also got a stiffer action, so if you're looking to steer fish in tighter quarters, the Tanuki is going to be easier to do that. The Tenkara Mini is definitely softer in terms of fighting the fish as well. Again, the Dragontail feels like the most robust of these three in terms of handling bigger fish. But the Tanuki and the Tenkara Mini are really a joy to cast. The Tanuki feels very light as well, but again, I don't like the thin grip as much. It just doesn't feel as comfortable for my hand. I don't like the squared off butt as much. The rounded bottom and the cork is just magic here. So these are my thoughts. I love the Tenkara Mini so much that I'm going to order another one while they're only $130 on Amazon just to have as a backup. It's a perfect backup rod. I just broke my first rod last week. It was actually the Airstage Fujiru, which was a total bummer. But I didn't have this just in my pocket as a spare. 1.5 ounces and disappearing into your pocket, there's no reason to just have a spare rod around, right? Or if you just, you're going on a hike, you're not sure if there would be fish, carrying this, a spool, and a little thing of flies, I mean, the kit doesn't get much smaller than that. So I love this rod, and I can't recommend it highly enough. Even if it was full price $225, if you're looking for a pocket rod and you want one that casts effortlessly and is super lightweight and is really fun with small fish, you just can't, I mean, I haven't found anything that beats it. It's incredible. I haven't tried like the Kawasa from Anglo & Sons, but that's a $400 rod. And I haven't tried the Tenryu, I think it's the 32, but again, that's like a $350 rod. So for $130, this is just a steal. Okay, the Dragontail, I think I'm probably gonna put this last in the lineup just because I don't have bigger fish and the casting is not quite as effortless. And I don't have it, if I want a pocket rod, that's the other thing about the size. If I want a pocket rod, I really want it to be as pocket as possible. And so the Tenkara Mini is excellent for that. But I still love the Tanuki as well. It's just a different action. It's a very different feel than the Tenkara Mini. So I would put that one second in my lineup and the Dragontail third. But there it is. Those are my thoughts. You can find other videos where I've fished with these rods. You can check those out on my channel. But I thought it would be helpful to put these three up against each other and just discuss my thoughts about them. So if you're interested in a pocket rod, it can help you make a good choice. So that's all, and tune in next time.